everybody. I hope all is well.
Happy Friday.
And with that, let's get to some more questions.
So this first question is 3 parts. Will school be reopened this year? Do you think they will end up canceling the rest of this school year? And personally, do you guys think we are going back to school?
So as far as we know, yes, school will be reopened this year. That being said, I think if the quarantine gets pushed back a little while longer, they'll probably cancel because at that point we'll almost be out of school anyway. But we'll still keep doing work digitally. We both gave you surveys this week asking about technology use, and that's because the district is looking at if school does cancel in-person sessions for the rest of the year, they're going to get laptops and internet to those who need it.
And the survey I gave you guys was a couple weeks ago, but if you haven't done it, I sent it in an email again. So, yes, we will be going back to some sort of school this year. Physical school, TBD. Do you think school will be complicated when we go back?
I think any transition is complicated. I think a lot of people are excited to go back. I know we are. We've talked to some students who are. So I think it will be awkward. It'll be weird because none of us have experienced this before, but I think it will be done.
Yeah. Will we be doing weekly themes for the foreseeable future?
For at least the next 3 weeks. We have 3 more themes for sure, and then I think if the quarantine gets extended, I don't know if they're going to continue with the themes or try something different.
But yes, there's at least 3 more weeks of that. Can we eventually have a class over Zoom where we do our work with the other students and you guys?
So we did a little something like this week in my class where if you chose the discussion option for the Robespierre assignment, we had that this week. People seem to enjoy it, so I hope to do some more of that stuff going forward, and I will plan some of that stuff going forward. Mrs. Arce brought up a good point earlier, which was it's hard to require that stuff just because of digital access and everything like that, but I think we're both going to try and provide those type of opportunities going forward.
Sorry if this question has already been answered, but will we still have to do our finals?
Yes, there will be some sort of final, whether that's an in-person final or a digital final. I am confident that you'll have a final to do.
Is every question from this week actually 100 points?
It's hard to tell right now because we don't know how quarter 4 is going to be graded. It could be traditional style, it could be pass-fail. We've been keeping track of your assignments and who's been doing what, all that kind of stuff, but the point value is undetermined as of right now.
And I actually removed it from Google Classroom. The 100 points is the default on Google Classroom, so like I have been telling you guys all year, don't really go on that. Follow ThinkWave. And then the next question is, do you guys still update ThinkWave every now and then?
Which, as of right now, no, because we don't know how we're going to be asked to grade. We have our systems. Mrs. Arce has been keeping her clipboard, which you're all very familiar with. And I've been going in and looking at who's been doing what and keeping track of that. But we can't really post on ThinkWave because we don't know how we're supposed to grade yet.
Yeah, and to minimize confusion going forward, because we don't know right now what we're supposed to do, it's easier to just wait instead of doing something and having to fix it and putting out confusion into the world. So the lack of ThinkWave is not us not being on top of our stuff. We are just waiting until we have further directions. What if you don't have questions?
That's fine. Just sit back and listen.
Do you think that students should have April vacation?
I think most of the time, yes. I think this year the school committee made the right choice. For example, we were supposed to go to New York over April vacation and see a show, which I got Mrs. Arce tickets for, but obviously we aren't going to go. So I'd rather have those 5 days at the end of the school year where we will hopefully be able to go out and do things and go places as opposed to 5 more days just hanging around the house.
Yes. Is book abuse a victimless crime?
I would say no if you're talking about in the sense of destroying books, burning books, vandalizing books, that kind of stuff, because then you're taking somebody else's opportunity away to either learn or find an escape or see a different point of view.
Do you watch South Park?
No, I used to back in the day a little bit, but not anymore. I know Mrs. Arce's seen a few episodes, but that was more when she was trying to be a rebel in 4th and 5th grade, and she and her brothers would kind of try and sneak some episodes, but neither of us watches it now.
Can you explain how some Pokemon change type when they evolve? For example, I have a dark type Greninja that evolves from a water type Frogadier.
Frogadier?
Frogadier.
So I don't know if you're playing the card game where there's only singular types. I play the video games where Pokemon might gain types over time, but typically don't lose them. So just like we gain skills as we're growing older, and I hope you all gain skills as you grow older, Frogadier gains a dark type and becomes a water/dark type Greninja. So I hope all my little Frogadiers become big, strong Greninjas someday.
Have you been to Yosemite National Park?
Not yet, but it's on the list. The closest I've been are some of the ones in Northern California, the Redwoods, Pinnacles, Lassen Volcanic, which are all amazing. So I imagine Yosemite is amazing too, and I can't wait to go.
What is both of your favorite breakfast foods?
I like the savory stuff. I like eggs, omelets, breakfast sandwiches, those type of things.
And I usually go towards the sweet stuff. I love pancakes, waffles, bagels, muffins, all of the above. What is both of your favorite drinks?
So this is a point of contention in our household. One of the biggest pieces of contention in our marriage, right up there with Red Sox and Yankees.
And we thought about at our wedding, instead of splitting it by like the bride and the groom side, by splitting it by Diet Pepsi and Diet Coke. Usually we buy Diet Pepsi. Mr. Arcee kind of lost that battle, but lately he's been grocery shopping without me, so he's been getting Diet Coke.
There were sales.
Yeah.
I got what was on sale.
I also love coffee, obviously. Do you agree with pineapple on pizza?
Sure, why not?
Do you like Fridays?
I don't know if you're talking about the restaurant or the day of the week. Both, yes. The day of the week, I get to do the Question Fridays, plus it's a nice little introduction to the weekend. I know it's kind of harder to keep track of in quarantine, but these videos kind of give me that same feeling. And then Fridays, the restaurant has good appetizers.
What are some of your favorite meals to cook during this time?
So I have done some stir fries, some turkey burgers on the griddle, and Mrs. Arcee got a cookbook for some friends for their wedding and a waffle iron for them. But I kind of stole the cookbook and have been making sandwiches in the waffle iron that there are recipes for, so that as well.
What is the book called? Will It Waffle?
Will It Waffle, which Mrs. Arcee's enjoyed too because I've been working on my waffle recipe that's part of the compromise.
What is one conspiracy that you would like to start or take part in yourself?
So for the most part, I find conspiracies to be a bad thing because they spread misinformation, and it's just ways to comfort yourself in terms of trying to understand something that might not make sense to you. I guess aliens, although I don't know if they're a conspiracy because I like to think that there's something bigger than ourselves out there. Same goes for ghosts, so aliens or ghosts, although I don't know that either of them is a conspiracy.
If you could be a fictional character in their world, not necessarily following their plot line, who would you be and why?
So going with two of my passions that you know about, I would say either the Pokemon universe, because I could be a Pokemon trainer, or Molly from Denali, because then I would get to live in Denali, which would be really cool, which is a national park in Alaska.
Molly from Denali is a PBS Kids show that was on while I was getting my nails done once, and I watched it and was like, oh my god, Mr. Arcee needs to see this show. It's so cute.
So when we have kids someday, I'm sure they'll watch Molly from Denali.
What motivates you?
Service to the community and just trying to better my community. There's a lot of bad in the world and there's a lot of things you can't change, but if you just do your best to try and improve what's going on around you, that can make a difference whether you see it immediately or not.
And then based on your teaching career so far, what advice would you give someone who is going into the teaching field?
Well, this could be a whole video in and of itself, honestly. A couple of things I would say are, at the end of the day, you're doing it for the kids, and you should never lose sight of that. You all know that my teaching style is one of building those personal connections, and I think just trying to do whatever it takes to help kids is the most important thing by far. I think you also need to be okay with making mistakes. No lesson is perfect, no day is perfect, but as long as you keep trying to do what's best for the kids, whether that's emotionally, whether that's academically, then that will set you up to be a successful educator. All right. Well, that's what we've got for this week. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you soon. Bye.